Federal immigration enforcement continuing in Illinois as the Illinois Accountability Commission is set to hold its first hearing, taking testimony and evidence of alleged wrongdoing by Border Patrol officials. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop with you each and every weekday morning. Thank you for being here. Be sure to get the headlines in your inbox. Just go to thecentersquare.com and you can sign up today and get those headlines delivered free. It's completely free to you, so go check that out and share it up as well as you get going on with your day. We're here to watch what's going on with your tax dollars and report to you. So appreciate you guys being here. And let's go ahead and check out some of the latest on the immigration front as you've got the Illinois Accountability Commission set to meet today. But let's start with Commander Operations at Large, Gregory Bovino on X, appearing in different places. He's, been spotted with Border Patrol officials in Evanston. We'll take a look at some of that. But here's what he had to say on X about local law enforcement. Says, I'd like to thank both Chicago and Evanston police departments who provided assistance in preventing violent mobs from assaulting our law enforcement officers as we were conducting Title VIII immigration duties in the area. Both departments cleared the way for us to continue enforcement efforts unimpeded. I also had the opportunity to engage with the Evanston mayor, who asked why I was in Evanston. I told the mayor we were there to make his city a safe place through Title VIII immigration enforcement and how these enforcement operations work, although he fell back into the divisive talking points that we've heard ad nauseum from politicians in Chicago. I hope it was enlightening to him. I always enjoy meeting and talking with such officials, and today was no exception. Perhaps the mayor will see the light as we continue to remove bad people from Evanston. Excellent day in Evanston, Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino said. Now, Governor Pritzker, he addressed the reports of continued immigration enforcement earlier this week, where he talked about the Illinois Commission for Accountability and said that he wants Gregory Bovino to testify for that. And that meeting is today. The governor creating this commission and putting it together, saying that it's necessary to go after wrongdoing and to track it and possibly have it in where they can actually hold people accountable, even if it's later on. Let's see if we can get the governor here talking about immigration enforcement in Chicago. And again, this was earlier this week up in Chicago where the governor was asked this question.
Not given any notice by them, and they seem to already be deploying again with masks and unmarked cars and SUVs into neighborhoods. They call it enforcement, we call it harassment, but we don't know how long they'll stay. It appears that they're here for at least a couple of days, if not longer. So I encourage everyone who can hear me to do as you have, because frankly I'm very proud of the way that Illinoisans have reacted to CBP and ICE. And that's in pulling out your whistles and your phones, video, everything posted online. We have an Illinois Accountability Commission that is now taking testimony, has a hearing on Thursday. I invite Gregory Bovino to testify at the Illinois Accountability Commission. He has some questions that he needs to answer for.
So the governor will saying that he wants Bovino to testify. Bovino again being seen by protesters and media, even libs of TikTok sharing video on X showing the Border Patrol chief there being confronted by Mayor Biss of Evanston. Here's a little bit of that exchange if we can hear it.
Acceptable. Racism is unacceptable, and the violence is unacceptable.
Yeah, it is. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We are in your community because you refuse to do what we are doing. Violence.
Thank you. What violence are you concerned about?
Violence committed by those that shouldn't be in your community.
I'm unaware of that happening. But this
Well, that's probably the problem. Maybe you should get aware of it.
Hey, Bovino!
If you couldn't hear what Bovino was saying there, he says that they're there to address violence in the community by people in the country illegally, and Biss says he's not aware of that, and Bovino says, well, that's probably the problem, not being aware of that, the illegal immigration that's taking place with people in Evanston, and they did make several arrests yesterday in Evanston enforcing illegal immigration. So Biss confronting Bovino, but you've also got him making statements on his social media about the interaction he had with the Border Patrol official.
A bunch of ICE and CBP agents were here. I stood face to face with Greg Bovino right here, and he threatened us, said he's going to continue the enforcement. Of course, what he said was he's keeping us safe from violence, but what we know is that the violence is being perpetrated by federal agents. They had a conversation with our police chief. It sounds like they plan to be here throughout the rest of the day. I'm delighted to say there were tons of rapid responders. There were people pushing back. The tragedy is that I saw with my own eyes 2 people who they abducted, and I'm told there may be more. It's not clear yet, and I don't want to say anything unless I'm sure it's true. But what I would say is this: stay alert, stay active, keep yourself safe. If you're trained in rapid response, be out and about, and always remember the ICIRR hotline, 855-435-7693. We need to keep each other safe.
So Biss also running for Congress, by the way.
So a few minutes ago, a bunch of...
That's something else to consider in this ongoing conversation back and forth. But you got the Department of Homeland Security highlighting how they are making arrests. And this one in particular, they say, to those who assault federal agents, we will hunt you down. We will find you, and justice will be served. Today in Chicago, and this was a couple of days ago, Border Patrol agents arrested Santo Joel Gonzalez Rodriguez, a criminally illegal alien from Mexico, after he threw a rock through the back door of a Border Patrol vehicle. His criminal history includes domestic battery, aggravated assault, burglary, and domestic violence. President Trump and Secretary Noem will always have the back of DHS law enforcement. You can see there the individual suspect and the broken window. Continuing on, Bovino did sit down briefly with an interview with Armando Sanchez, who says, quick interview with U.S. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino during an immigration operation at Home Depot Wednesday in Evanston. Let's go ahead and hear what they had to say.
So how's today's operation gone so far?
It's gone good. We're taking criminals off the street here in Chicago, as we always have, Title 8 immigration enforcement. As you can see there in some of the cities, Evanston and other places, there are those mobs that form, but luckily we're, for the first time, receiving some assistance from both Chicago PD and Evanston Police Department. I think probably they're learning a little bit from Louisiana how an orderly, safe enforcement action works, and that's what we're after, is an orderly, safe enforcement action.
And how does Chicago compare in immigration action to New Orleans?
I'll tell you, a lot more violent in Chicago. We were assaulted several times yesterday, and one of the things that we see in Chicago is illegal aliens actually like to come out and try to assault Border Patrol, which is not a smart thing to do. So one of the individuals that assaulted us, you probably already know, had a lengthy criminal history, decided to try to attack a Border Patrol agent with a rock, and that didn't work out too well for him. So.
And if there's anything that you would want to communicate to the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, is there anything that you would like to say, sir?
Sure, whether it's the mayor of Chicago, Johnson, or that mayor of Evanston, they keep asking, why are you in our community? And we always say it's to make your community a safer place. Perhaps they'll also realize that when they allow criminals to walk, when they allow criminals like we apprehended yesterday to walk their streets time and again, it only hurts the American citizens and those inner city residents that come out all the time and give us thumbs up and say, please don't leave Chicago.
What did the mayor of Daniel Biss communicate to you? Did he have anything?
He asked why we were there, and when I told him it was to make his city a safer place, I saw just a brief instance of enlightenment on his face, but then he sank back into the usual tired rhetoric that causes violence. So, it's unfortunately, that's what some of those leaders have come to do, but we're here to do a legal, ethical, and moral mission. We're going to continue that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, sir?
We're here for the taxpayer, Mom and Pa America, and many of those wards will be in those wards protecting America. So we're glad to be here.
So he says they're there for the taxpayer, mama and papa. So interesting to hear the commander there discuss that with people on the streets in Evanston. And again, Bovino talking about this and thanking the Chicago Police Department and Evanston Police Department. Some reports were that in Chicago in particular, Chicago PD actually assisted Border Patrol vehicles to move through the city unabated because there was a 911 call reportedly that came in saying that the vehicle was erratic around Border Patrol activity in Chicago. And here we've got another video from Bovino that he posted. Let's go ahead and pull this up from yesterday. Looks like some rideshare drivers in Chicago took a wrong turn. Operation Midway Blitz apprehended 16 illegal aliens operating as rideshare drivers. If you're in the country illegally, you don't get to blend into the gig economy and bypass our immigration laws. We're the best Uber driver, and we'll get them home again. Here's the video that Bovino shared. And I'm actually going to, turn that music down so we don't get pinged for copyright, as I'm not sure how the White House officials get around that, but all right. So again, it's just flashing images of different suspects they've apprehended who are apparently driving Uber in Illinois and in Chicago. Now, the Accountability Commission that Governor J.B. Pritzker started up, you heard him say he wants Bovino to testify at the hearing that's going to be happening today. And let's go ahead and pull up the Illinois Accountability Commission website where you can read for yourself the mission of the commission. The purpose, housed within the Illinois Department of Human Rights, is to create a public record of the conduct of federal agents during Operation Midway Blitz and the Trump administration's military-style operations throughout the Chicagoland area. Additionally, the commission will examine the impact of the conduct on individuals and communities and consider policy recommendations to prevent future harm in Illinois. And there's a purpose and goals. They want to create a public record, examine the impact, consider policy recommendations, more detail about the goal of all of this, especially in the gathering of information. I imagine you'll see a lot of video compiled. And I'm curious if the video is going to be one-sided and edited, or is it going to show entire conflicts, right? Because you can take a 2-minute video and edit it down to make it look like one person's the aggressor when that person was actually responding to the initial aggression. Is it going to be a full and complete understanding of situations that are taking place? And who is on the commission leadership? You've got the various individuals involved in this. Judge Ruben Castillo, Patricia Brown Holmes being the chair and co-chair, and you've got a slew of commissioners here from a variety of different groups and different industries, universities, law enforcement, and so on. So the governor created this, and they are set to provide a report of some kind next month to the General Assembly, and how this is going to play out. We'll obviously be monitoring the commission hearing today and getting that story out at thecentersquare.com. So be sure to stop over and get the newsletter in your inbox. All right, go to thecentersquare.com. Click newsletter, sign up, it's free. And while you're there, if you are in a giving spirit, you can donate. We are a nonprofit newswire service focusing on how government impacts you, the taxpayer. So go make that happen at thecentersquare.com. All right, it's Illinois in Focus Daily with you each and every weekday morning. I'm Greg Bishop, editor at The Center Square for Illinois. And we got plenty more to tackle for the rest of the week, even though tomorrow is Friday. All right, it's Illinois in Focus Daily.